Hello everyone. So welcome back to the channel. So I hope I am audible and visible. Okay. So today we are going to be starting with a new topic. Okay, and that is bit manipulation. In this, we'll be starting with very basics, and we'll be trying to cover some advanced topics there. Okay. So please write in the comments that whether I am audible or not, so that we can start with the session. Okay. So topic for today is bit manipulation. Okay, so before that I'm just going to be covering few topics that are important for this class. So basically, what is bit manipulation, why we are learning this. So this is again an important topic when we talk about programming. Okay, because some of the task which happens to be very complicated and which takes more time, but that can be done mathematically using bit manipulation very easily. Okay, for example, first we'll be talking about different symbols that are going to be using in this class. So I'm just going to be giving a brief introduction. I'll not be going depth because this class is not meant for that. We'll be starting with this bit manipulation and we'll be seeing what is the power of this bit manipulation. Okay, so that we are going to be doing in very soon. So let me just do this, and that is first I'm going to be calling that as symbols. Okay, that we are going to be using symbol. This is AND. Okay, and then we have OR. Okay, then we have right shift operator, left shift operator. This is complement. Okay, so all these are there, and we are going to be using extensively in this class because we are going to be dealing with bit manipulation in this class. Okay, so before we start, I hope you all know what is this and how it is this working and all these things. So let me take an example. What is this AND? So I hope most of you them know that when we take AND of 1 and 1 and 1 and 1, so we'll be getting 1. If you take 1 and 0, you'll be getting 0. This will be 0, and this will again be 0. So this is all about AND. When we talk about OR, okay, when we talk about OR, so let us see what is this OR thing. Okay, so OR values are there. So let us take here. So OR is nothing but if we take this one and 1 or 1. Okay, so basically 1 or 1. Okay, so it's basically it is 1 only. Okay, 1 or 1. Then we'll be having 0 or 0 is 0. 1 or 0 basically gives you 1, and 0 or 0, that is already done. So that is all about this one OR operator. Okay, so OR operator means if any one of them is 1, you'll be getting 1. If both are 0, then you'll be getting 0. So that is the OR operator that we are going to be using. Then let us talk about this left shift and right shift operator. So left shift is nothing but if we are doing something like this. If so take an example of 5. We have 101, right? This is 5. Now suppose I'm just writing in this way. Suppose I'm just going to be moving all the bits of 5 towards the left. Okay, let's see what happens if we having this as 5, and if we are just moving this all this by 1 positions. So this 1 will be coming here, this 0 will be coming here, this 1 will be coming here, and new zeros will be added at the last position. So what this becomes? This becomes 10. So we have 5, this becomes 10. Now suppose if I'm again doing this, again I'm going to be moving this one by right, by left, by 1 bits each and every. So I'm just going to be writing something like this, and let's see, I'm going to be adding this one here, this one here, this one here, this one, and this one. Okay, So what is this value? So this value is nothing but 16 plus 4, which is 20. Okay, so you can see we have 5. Then if we did one left shift operator, left shift operator, we got the value as 10. Then we again did left shift operator, then we got the value as 20. So I hope you are seeing that whenever we are doing left shift operator, we are multiplying that value by 2. Okay, here also we are multiplying this value by 2, so we'll be getting 20 here. Okay, so I hope this is clear to all of you. If you're not able to get, please write in the comments. I'll be surely talking about that. Okay, so I hope now let us move ahead and talk about some other same things. Okay, so now we have talked about all of these values, right? So we have took AND OR operator, right? We have talked about left. Now you can easily guess what will be the right shift operator. Suppose if we have this one, then you might guess what will be the right shift operator if we do one right shift operator on this one. Okay, so you can see we'll be doing nothing but dividing this number by 2. Okay, so that is all about this. And when this is complement, means flipping all the ones to zeros, so that is going to be done by this one. Okay, so I hope this was not at all anything. So these are the bitwise operators. So this is bitwise and okay, this was bitwise and then this was bitwise OR. Okay, this is left shift operator, right shift operator, left shift operator, and complement. Okay, so I hope all of this are not at all an issue for all of you. So let me just remove this and take an example. Here we have this one. Okay, here we have this one, and what I'm going to do for an bitwise, I'm just going to be taking an example. So suppose I have something like this, and I am doing a bitwise operator with this. Okay, this is AND operation which I am doing. So you can easily say 1 and 1 will be 1, this will be 1, this will become 0, this will 0, this is 0, and this is 1. So this is basically to give an example what is this AND operation is doing. Now if we have in place of AND, if we have OR, so let's see what will be the values for that. So let me remove this and write this one. So if you took an bitwise OR operator for this of them, then 1 or 1 will be 1, 1, this will be 1, this will be 1, 0, and this will be 1. Okay, let us talk about XOR, which I think I didn't talk about. So let us talk about that. So XOR, if we take an XOR value, I'll be just showing you the example itself. So suppose I'm taking XOR for this both values. So you can see if we have same values, then we'll be getting zeros. If we have same bits, for example 1 1, you'll be getting 0. If you have 0 0, you'll be getting 0. If they are different, then in both cases you'll be getting 1. So you can see 1 and 1 is 1, both are equal. So you'll be getting 0. For this you'll be becoming 1. For these zeros. So this is what happens when you take bitwise XOR operation. Okay, if you do XOR operation on any of the 2 bits, or any of the 2 numbers, you can say, so you'll be getting this output as this one. Okay, so I hope it is not a problem for all of you to understand what is going on. If you have any doubts, you can always write in the comments. Okay, so now let us talk about I will talk about bitwise complement and all. So I'll be just taking an example and doing this thing and showing you in a practical how we are going to be doing that. For example, let us talk about this first. So suppose we have integer I and I'm just calling that as 5. Then I have integer j, which is nothing but let us take the example of 2 here. Okay, so let us see how we can represent this 5 here. So we have 5, right? So basically I write something like this, and if I need 5, I'll be writing 101. What is the how we can represent in binary the value for 2? 2 is nothing but something like this. This is 2, this is 5. Okay, now let us see what happens if we take an AND operation for this, for 5 and 2. Let us see what happens if you take an AND operation. You can see we'll be getting zeros for this. So let us try to do that and verify our answer here. So what we'll be doing, we'll be just printing the value for our I and j. Okay, if we let us see what is the output. The output which we are expecting is 0. Let's see what is the output for this one. You can see we are already getting the value as 0. So suppose instead of doing AND operation, what I want to do, I want to do this operation of OR. Okay, OR operation on this 5 and 2. Let's see what happens. So if you do OR operations, so 1 x or 1 or 0 will be getting 1. This is also 1. For this also will be getting 1. So what is this value? This value is nothing but 4 plus 2 plus 1, which is 7. 4 plus 3 7. Okay. Now let us see if we just do something like this. Instead of doing that, I'll be writing this one dash, which is nothing but the or bitwise or. Okay, so let's see what happens if I try to run the code. The value which we are expecting, and we successfully got that as 7 here in this case. Okay, so that is again or operator. Okay, so why I am just explaining these basic things is because in the further questions we'll be using this simple concept to solve difficult problems. Okay, one of the problems I'll be telling you when we talked about bitwise XOR operator, but now I have talked about AND and OR operator. Let us talk about XOR operator now. Okay, let's see what is this value XOR. So please tell me in the comment what will be the value for XOR if we do XOR of 5 XOR 2. Please tell me in the comments what will be the value for this. If you are hearing me, please write in the comments what will be the value for this one. So here instead of doing this, I'll be doing XOR operator, and again I'll be removing this. Okay, what is the value for this XOR? So you can easily see we have already shown that whenever we are doing whenever we have same bits, we'll be getting zeros. Whenever we are having different bits, we'll be getting 1. As simple as this one. Okay, so you can easily see if we are trying to do XOR operation of I and j, which is nothing but 5 and 2, you can easily say all of them are different. So which means we'll be getting this as this, and this is nothing but the output 7. Okay, if we just try to run this code simply, we'll be getting the value as 7, which is what we got now. Okay, we have got the value as 7 here in this case. So I hope it is not at all difficult to understand what is this all going on. So now we have talked about AND XOR operator. Let us talk about this left operator, left shift operator. And if I do something like this too, okay, that is on what value I am doing. I'm doing on I equals to 2. Okay, let us see what happens. Before trying to run this code, let's see by ourselves what the value we are expecting here. So we have this 101. Okay, this is 101, which is nothing but 5. If I do something as left shift operator by 2, not by 1, let's see what happens if I do by 2. If I multiply this by if I just do left shift operator by 1, so what is the value which I am going to be expecting? So you can see if I left shift operator, if I do one time, then what is the value which I'll be getting? So you can see we'll be getting 1 0. Okay, then we'll be getting 1 0. So what is this value? This value is nothing but 10. Okay, which we got by which we can easily say we have got this multiplying by 2. Now again, if I am doing the same thing, which is left shift operator, shifting this bits by 1 towards the left, so you can easily say we'll be getting something like this. Okay, 1 0. Okay, 1 0 0. Okay, so what is this value? Let's see what is this value. This value is nothing but 20. Okay, how this is basically 16 and this is basically 4. 16 plus 4 gives us 20. So this is again we got multiplying by 2. So basically if you are doing left shift operator by 2, so basically you are multiplying by 4 the value which you will be getting here. If we do simply by 1, Okay, so if you are doing this by 1, so let us see what is the value if we left shift operator by 1. So can you guess what will the output when we are going to be running this code? What is the value which we are going to be expecting when we are trying to run this code? So I'm waiting for the response, guys. Please tell me as soon as possible. What is the output when I'm going to be running this code? And please also tell me what happens if I again do this thing. Okay, so Jatin is telling 10, and let's see if he can guess the second one as well. Okay, so you can see we have this 5, and if we are doing left shoe operator, for this one 5, then you can see we'll be getting the value as 10. Let's see what will the value for if I are doing something like this one. Okay, what is the value for this one? Now I is 5, and right shift operator means we are going to be dividing this by 2. Okay, so is telling 2, which is correct answer. So the output which we are expecting is 10 for this one, as it's going to be multiplying by 2, and this one is nothing but division by 2, which is nothing but 2 in this case. So let's try to run this code and see the output for both of them. So you can see for first one we are getting 10, and for the second we are getting the value as 2, which is correctly answered by you guys. Okay, so now let us move ahead and talk about some other things. Okay, we have already talked about this one, and let us talk about XOR values. Let us take another input. So suppose I have this value as I as this one, and I have J as something like this one, 5, again 5. So what I'm going to be doing, just going to be writing cout, and I'll be doing this XOR operation with I and J. Now please tell me what will be the output for this one. What will be the output for this when I trying to run this code? Can you tell me? So you can also write something like this. I have 101, which is this 5, which is I value. The J value is also 5, which is nothing but 101. I am doing XOR operation for both of them, and you need to tell me what will be the output for this one. So we already talked that if we have both values as same, then we'll be getting zeros. If we have different values, something like this 0 1, okay, 0 1, so you can see we'll be getting value as 1. So mostly all of them are telling the value. Vijay is also telling. Vijay is also joined today, so you can see he's telling the value as 0 in this case, which is correct, and Abhishek is telling 1. But let us try to run the code and see the output by ourselves. So when you try to run this code, and you will be getting the value as 0 here. Why 0? Because you can see if we are doing this 1 XOR 1, we will be getting 0 because they are same. They are again same, we will be getting 0. If you are doing again this, you will be getting value 0. So this is nothing but value 0, which we are correctly getting here. Okay, so let me just do this and change this value from 5 to 7. Now you need to tell me what will the output for this when I'm going to be running this code. You just need to tell me what will be the output when I'm going to be running this code, which is nothing but I XOR J. Now please tell me what will the output for this one as soon as possible. So let me just write this 7. So 7 is nothing but this is 7. Okay, how? 4 2 1, which is nothing but 7, and 5 is nothing but this one. If I'm going to be taking XOR value for this I and J, what is the output which I'm going to be expecting? So this is going to be 0. These are different, I'll be getting 1. These are same, I'll be getting 0. So what is this output? This output is nothing but the value 2. Okay, so if I just try to run this code, okay, that's the answer which I'm going to be expecting, or the answer which is actually coming is this value to here. Okay, so I hope all these things are very much clear to all of you. So here with an example of this operation, what I am going to be doing, I am just going to be given a simpler problem. Okay, simple problem. The problem is something like we have given a value. Okay, we have given a value and we need to tell whether that value is power of 2 or not. Okay, so suppose we have an input. In input we can be given the value something like 2. Okay, and let us take a bigger value so it will be easier. Suppose I am giving the value as 4 here, and I know this is the power of 2, 2 power 2, which basically gives you 4, and you need to tell me whether the input which I am going to be giving to this I is power of 2 or not. Okay, so I am going to be writing something like this: I equals to 4, and I'm going to be writing this here. How can we check whether that value is power of 2 or not? Using bitwise operator. We do not need to just divide this number by 2 and 2. If you are getting the value as remainder as 0, so you'll be directly telling that the value is the power of 2. Okay, that is not the way. You need to tell me using bitwise operator. Okay, just think which operations we can easily implement on this, so that we can talk about this. Okay, so 4 is nothing but this value, and you need to tell me what are the things that we are going to be checking in case of power of 2's, how we are going to be checking basically. So this is how we are going to be representing 4, and this is basically how we are going to be representing this value 8, which is nothing but 2 power 3. Okay, so I hope you'll be making some sense out of this, what is actually going on. So whenever we are talking about powers of 2, you can see only one bit is set in all of the cases. For example, when we talked about 16, so it will be 1 with the 4 zeros followed by 4 zeros. Okay, so 1 2 4 8 16 32 64, something like this, it goes on. So only one bit is set. For example, for 8, this bit was only set, all the values were zeros. For 4, it was the only bit which was set, all values are zeros, like this. Okay, so I hope this is making sense to you. So let me this was the basically thing. This is the only thing we just need to remember in this case, so that we can make logic from this. Okay, this is nothing but 4, and this is basically 8, this is basically 16. Okay, now let me just tell you that what happens if we just do one subtraction. For example, what is the value for 3? What is the, how we can represent this value in 3 binary representation? What is the value for this one in 7? What is the value for 15? Okay, you need to tell me. So Jatin is telling if n into n minus 1, see out power of 2. Okay, so he has already answered the question that if we just simple, this is n, right, and this is n minus 1. Okay, this is n, this is n minus 1. So you can see how we can represent this n minus 1. So n minus 1, which is nothing but 3. So you can see except the bit which is set, all the values will be set. Okay, this will become unset and all the values will be becoming set. Okay, all the bits basically. For this also, if you talk about 7, so 7 can be represented something like this. If you talk about 15, 15 will be represented like that, whatever the set bit is there, for only the power of 2 I am speaking. So only the set bit, except all the values will be becoming set. Okay, now one thing you can observe that if you take an AND operation for n and n minus 1, if you are getting 0, then you can always tell that they are a power of 2, that the number is power of 2. So what happens if you took AND operation for this 4 and 3, you will be getting all the values as 0. This is 0, this is 0, this is 0. For this also, if you take an AND operation, you can see all the values will be 0. This is 0, this is 0, this is 0. For all this also, for this same thing, you will be getting all the values zeros in this case. You can see we have this 0, you will be getting 0. For this also 0, this also 0, this also 0, this also 0. For all of them values, you will be getting zeros here. So that is the condition check which you are going to be doing. Okay, let me just take let me just show you the value for n minus 1. So suppose I'm just going to be taking that value as n, so that you guys don't get confused. So we have n is equals to 4, which is nothing but the power of 2. Let me just print the value for n minus 1. N minus 1 will be basically 4 only, but let us see what will the value for if I do something like this, n into n minus 1. Okay, into means just doing the AND operation here, not into. So this is basically AND, bitwise AND operation, which I'm going to be doing. So let us see the value for this. The value for this, which is nothing but the value will be 4 or 0 basically. All the values will be cancelling each other, or the answer for that will for them will be becoming 0 in this case. Okay, so if I have the value something like 8, if I just try to run the code, you can see then again you'll be getting 0. If I do something like 16, okay, and if I again do, you'll be getting the value 0. Or if I do 17, you can see will not be getting the value as 0, we'll be getting something else only. So you can see here we're getting 16 instead of doing that. Okay, so how this is working? So if we have something like 5, and if I'm trying to run this code, I'm getting value as this 4. So how we are getting this as 4? So 101, okay, and this is 101. If you took n minus 1, what is this n minus 1? N minus 1 is this one. Okay, this is 4. Now you can see whenever we are doing n minus 1, okay, whenever we are having n and we are doing n minus 1, the last set bit will become unset, and all the values followed them will be becoming set. Okay, let me take another example. Let us take an example of 6. Okay, let us take an example of 6 here, so that will make more sense what I'm saying. 6 is nothing but 110. Okay, and what will be the value for 5? So you can see what is the last set bit. The last set bit is this one. From if you count from left to right, what is the last set bit? The last set bit is this one. So if you are talking about n minus 1, so for n minus 1, this value will become unset, which is this one will become 0, and all the values followed will becoming 1. So we have only 0 1, so we'll be getting only 1, and this value will become same only. So again, if I am doing this 4, if I am again speaking for the 4, so what is the 4 value? What is the last set bit? This is the last set bit, so this will become unset. So this is if this become unset, the value will be something like this. Okay, now let us talk about the n minus 1 for this. So what is the last set bit? So last set bit is this one. Okay, which is nothing but the first set bit itself, only one set bit. So if I'm speaking of 3, then the value will become something like this, 0. Okay, the whatever the set bit will become unset, and all the values followed will becoming set. Okay, so this is basically 3. Now when we talk about 2, so the last set bit will become unset, so it will be something like this. Okay, and I hope that makes sense. Now this is again the same thing, last will become unset. So for this one, so this 0 will become 0 will remain 0, this will become 0, and whatever the value towards the right will be becoming set. So this is 1, and finally we'll be getting this value as 0. So I hope that makes sense to all of you. So this was generally happening here. What is this happening here? Okay, so this is, please keep in mind whatever I am saying, because we'll be using this concept to solve some of the good questions that are generally asked in the interview. Okay, so please remember this. If you can make a note for that, so that you can remember. So let me just remove this and solve this problem. Okay, so to summarize what I am speaking is, so suppose we have given any number n, and if we are doing n minus 1, so whatever the set bit from left to right, whatever the rightmost bit will be there, which is set, will become unset, and all the values, all the bits following that will become set. Okay, so that is what it is happening. So you can see here in this example also, this is 4, and when I talked about n minus 1, which is 3, so whatever the bit which is the rightmost, in this case is the first one only, so that will be becoming unset, and all the values followed will be becoming set. Okay, so just remember this, and this is going to be helping in the long in our journey. So this is basically this one, and now we just need to check that if we are getting this value, if whatever this value is this, if it is becoming equals to 0, so in that case we can simply say yes, it is power of 2. So this is basically power of 2, and else condition we can say it is not a power of 2, as simple as that. Okay, so let us try to run this code and see the output. So you can see this one is not a power of 2, as we took the example of 5 here. So 5 is not a power of 2. If I take an example of 4, okay, if I take an example of 4, you can see we'll be getting the power, it is a power of 2. Okay, so as simple as that. I hope you have got this. So this is the way you can easily tell that whether the number is a power of 2 or not. Okay, so that is the first way. Now depending upon the logic which we just saw now, we need to find how many set bits are there in the number. What I mean by set bits, we already spoke. So let us take an example for 10. Okay, let us take an example for 10, and you need to tell me how many bits are set in this. Please write in the comment that how many bits are set in this. How many bits are set in this? Okay, just tell me how many bits are set in this. So you can see we have the value as 2 here. Okay, the total number of set bits in this case is 2, because this one is set bit and this one is set bit. So maximum, which is we have 2 set bits here. Okay, so 2 set bits are present in this 10, and let us see how we can find this. So we already saw in this example of AND, okay, which we can easily implement here. So I hope you will be getting better idea how we can solve this. So let me just remove this or keep this thing ahead, and suppose I'm just taking an example of 10. So this is 10 basically, and I want to find how many number of set bits are there. So first thing is whatever I explained before, that this is 10. Okay, so I'll be checking what I'll be checking 9. I'll be just doing n minus 1. So this is n, and what will be n minus 1? N minus 1 will be nothing but all the rightmost bit will become 0, and the towards right it will becoming 1 only. Okay, so this is basically 9, and if I take an AND operation for this, so you can see it will become something like this. Yes, we can easily XOR 2 array elements, no issues in that. Okay, we'll be talking about that in a few seconds, no issues. Okay, so we have this 1 0 1 0. Okay, we have this n, and we have this n minus 1. Okay, we have this n minus 1, and you can see what would happen if we do XOR operation. So you can see we have this count. Okay, whenever I am doing this operation, which is nothing n into n minus 1, I'll be increasing my count. So initially it is 0. Now when I did this operation and I converted this 10 XOR 9 to value 8, this is nothing but the value 8 when I do this AND operation for them. So you can see one bit is being removed. So you can easily say whenever we are doing n into n minus 1, n bitwise AND of n minus 1, you can see we are removing one set bit from the rightmost bit. So that is the important observation I want you to make. So this is the observation, that whenever we are doing n into n minus 1, we are removing the last bit. Okay, so this is the operation. So you can see we have already removed one bit from here when we did this operation. Again I am going to be doing this. So for this is my n now, so I'll be updating. Before the n was this one, now I'll be updating this is my n. So I'm again going to be finding n minus 1. For this n minus 1 will be something like this. The rightmost, which is the first, will become 0, and all the values will be 1 here. And I'm again going to be doing the AND operation for them. So if I do AND operation for them, you can see we will be getting this as removed. and you can see all will become 0, and the count will for this it was increased to 1, and now it has been increased to 2. So this value has become 0, and the total number of bits or set bits in this case is 2 here. So we'll be just printing that. Okay, so that is the important thing here. Now let us talk about another example in this same thing. Suppose I am taking an example of this one 1011. So what is this value? This value is nothing but 11. Okay, so we can easily see there are 3 set bits here. So what we'll be doing, I'll be just making a count variable which will be 0 initially. So I'll be doing, this is my n, I'll be finding n minus 1. So n minus 1 will, which is nothing but the last set bit will become 0. That's it, right? So it is nothing but this one, this is nothing but 10. So if I do AND operation, so whenever I'm doing AND operation, I'll be incrementing my count. So I did once, so it has changed this value. If I took an AND operation for this one, it will be something like this. So this is my 10 now. So again this value becomes my n. Now again I am doing the AND operation for this. So we already know that last set bit will be becoming unset. So this is unset, and all values followed will be becoming set. So this is value n minus 1. So this is basically 11. This is 10. This is again 10. This is 9. Now again I am going to be doing AND operation for this. So you can see AND operation removed one more set bit. So I will be incrementing my set count to 2. Okay, then again I am going to be doing the same task, which is nothing but n minus 1. So what is the value for n minus 1? N minus 1 is this one, and again I am doing AND operation, so I will be getting all the values to be 0. Okay, and this is n minus 1. Again I am going to be increasing my count, so you can see all the values has becoming 0, and the count has been increased to 3. Okay, so as simple as that. So let us try to if you can just relate from this. So how we are going to be solving this problem? So let me just remove this, and I'm going to be taking the example for 11 itself. So for 11 we have seen the example, right? So if my n value is 11, so in this I'm going to be making a variable which is nothing but total. I'm going to be writing set bits. Okay, initially the total set bits are 0. Okay, and here I'm going to be doing the code part. So what is this? What is the logic we are going to be using in this code? So the code was very simple, that we are going to be running while n not equals to 0, which is nothing but while this value is true. Okay, while n is greater than 0, so in that case this value will be running. So I'll be writing while n itself. And what was the first thing which I'm going to be doing? I'm going to be finding n minus 1, and I'm just going to be multiplying and updating my n. Okay, I hope that is that you got that. So n equals to n into n minus 1. So this is the first task which I already told, that I'll be doing n into n minus 1. Okay, what I'll be going n and n minus 1, and whatever the value will be getting, I'll be storing that, and I'll be incrementing my total set bit counts. Okay, total set bits, and that's it. That is what you want to do, and in the end you'll be just writing the value for this. So what is the value for this? So the value is nothing but this one, total set bits count. Okay, so let us try to run this code, and when you try to run the code, you'll be getting the value as 3. So for doing the same thing, we have this C++ built-in library, that is you can also use this one. Okay, if you don't want to have time to implement that, so we have this built-in pop count function, which basically tells the total number of set bits. Okay, so for example, if I'm giving something like 11, okay, if I'm giving something like different value, so let us talk about the 10. So we already know that in 10 we have 2 set bits, so I'll be writing this one. Okay, so let us try to run the code, and you can see with the value for this set bit we are directly getting from here. So for 10 we are getting the set bits as 2. Okay, so that is this one. Okay, now we are going to be talking about some more different problems. So this is what you can directly use whenever you want. Now let us talk about something different problem. Okay, now we have given this number, and we need to tell whether the kth bit from the right is set or not. Okay, So we need to tell that. Okay, I'm just going to be removing this. And suppose we have given this, we are given this problem of, I'll be taking the value as 15. Okay, I'll be taking the value as 15. So what is this 15 value? 15 is this one, 8 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2, 3 plus 1, not that, 8 4, this is wrong, 8 4 2 1. Okay, 12 plus 3 15. So this is the value for 15. Now I just want to see whether my kth bit, so in this case I'll be just writing whether my third bit from the right is set or not, that I'm going to be checking. So how we can check that? So we have this one as n. Okay, and we need to check whether this bit is set or not. So how we can check this value? So any suggestions you can tell, any suggestions that you can tell that how we are going to be doing this? So you can see we whenever we are doing AND operation, okay, whenever we are doing AND operation, so we if we do AND OR operation or AND operation or any operation, so for example if we do 1 and 1, okay, if the value is set, then we'll be getting 0. If that value is not set, okay, if the value is not set, then also if you're doing this one, okay, let me just correct this, this is not 0, this is 1. Okay, yes, so Vijay is telling use the XOR operation. Okay, use the XOR operation. So Vijay is telling shift that many times. Okay, so what he is telling is let us implement what Vijay is telling. So Vijay is telling if we have 1 here, okay, and if we can left shift this, okay, by 3 position. So if we have this 1, so if we are doing this 1 here, so it will be it will be coming here, then it will be coming here. So basically the value will be something like this, and the value will be something like this. Okay, so 0 1 0 0. So that is what he is telling. So if we are shifting the operation, then will not be shifting k times, will be shifting k minus 1 times. And he is telling if we take an XOR operation for this, so you can see this all the values will be 1. Okay, they are different, and for this it will be becoming 0. Okay, so let's see how what he is trying to do. So in this case you can see we are not getting anything in this case. Okay, we can, how we can see this value is not properly getting here. So how we can check this? Any other approach that we can use? What happens if we take the complement for this? If we take the complement for this, so it will be becoming 1 0 1 1. And now if we take the XOR operation, so you can see if the value is 0, okay, so for example here it was 1 1 1 and the value is something 1 0 1 1. If I take XOR operation, so you can see if we are getting suppose this is value, and if you take this value will be, all values will be 0 and except this. So if we are not getting anything, no, if we are getting non-zero values, you can see that value is set. So suppose this value was 0, so in that case you can easily see this value will be becoming 0. Okay, so that is the approach that we are going to be using. So let me just take another example to show this same thing. So suppose we have this value as something like 10. Okay, 10, and we need to tell whether the fourth bit from the left, fourth bit from the right basically is set or not. Basically we want to check this one. We want to check this one whether this bit is set or not. So you can see this bit is set, which is first, second, third, fourth position. So if we do something like this 1, I'll be taking up to k minus 1 left shift operator. So I'll be coming here, so I'll be having something like this. If I take complement for this, I'll be getting something like this. And if I take an XOR value, so if I take XOR values, what will be the value which I'll be getting? So this value is different, so you'll be getting 1. This value is different, 1. This value is same, we'll be getting 0. This value is 0 or different, then you'll be getting 1. So you can see here also we are not coming up to the solution which we want. So any other solution or any other changes that we can do in this, so that we can tell whether that bit is set or not. So the easy approach is nothing but the same thing is, don't get confused too much. So just do this one, okay, just take the value, shift up, left shift up to k minus 1 and just take the AND operation. So you'll be getting all the values to be 0, and if you are getting non-zero values, which means that value is set. If you take another example like this one, and in this case you can see, yes, Vijay is telling AND operation, AND operator we can use. So you can see this is the value, and when we just try to take this, so you'll be getting 0 here. Okay, so in this case you can see, if we are getting the value as 0, which means the bit is not set. If we are getting the value as non-zero, we'll be getting the value as set basically. So what we are going to be doing, we are going to be taking example for 10. So we have this value as 10. Okay, this value is 10, and what we are going to be doing, we are just going to be checking if our I and left shifting this operator by suppose if we want to check the value for this one, the value is nothing but k equals to 4th bit we want to set, we want to check. So I'll be shifting this one by k minus 1 times. I'll be doing AND operation. If I'll be getting the value as 0, which means I can easily say it is not set. Okay, not set. And if I am getting the value as this one which is non-zero, so we'll be getting set. Is it correct? Is it, guys, is it correct, or we need to check anything else condition here, anything different condition? Let us try to run the code and see the output for this one. So you can see in this 4th bit from the right is set in this case. If we just check for the third, you can see the value is coming as set for this as well. Okay, but it was not supposed to come for this. The third bit from the right, any other solution? Okay, so if this is the case, let me just remove this and check for this. So this is coming as set. Okay, and if we check for the second, which is set 1, okay, so for it is coming, it is not set. So I just need to do something like this, and for this the value is set in this case. So I hope that makes sense. So yes, it should be shifted k minus 1 times. Okay, it should be shifted k minus 1 times. Just wait a minute.
Hello everyone, this is Mohan Bishnoi and I have an important announcement to make. Actually, we are going to be starting a streams on bit manipulation, and these streams are going to be happening from Monday to Friday 3 to 4 p.m. only on Geeks for Geeks C++ channel. In these streams, we are going to be starting with very basics of bit manipulation and we'll be solving advanced problems on this. So don't miss this opportunity. Please join us in solving bit manipulation problems only on Geeks for Geeks C++ channel. Hello everyone, this is Mohan Bishnoi and I have an important announcement to make. Actually, we are going to be starting a streams on bit manipulation, and these streams are going to be happening from Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 p.m. only on Geeks for Geeks C++ channel. In these streams, we are going to be starting with very basics of bit manipulation, and we'll be solving advanced problems on this. So don't miss this opportunity. Please join us in solving bit manipulation problems only on Geeks for Geeks C++ channel. Hello everyone, this is Mohan Bishnoi and I have an important announcement to make. Actually, we are going to be starting a streams on bit manipulation, and these streams are going to be happening from Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 p.m.
So guys, uh, so you can see we are just talking about this value only. Okay, so let me explain again, don't get too confused. We have this 1010 which is nothing but 10, and we want to check whether this bit is set or not. So which bit? The fourth bit from our right. So if we just take right from right, so what is the fourth bit? This is the fourth bit, and we need to check whether this is set or not. So what we are doing? We are just using this one. We are shifting this k minus 1 times. Okay, so this is first time, this is second time, this is third time. So we have shifted this. All the values will be 0. If we take an AND operation, for this, if we are getting this value as true in this case, so you can see we can successfully say that the value is set. So that is what we are going to be printing here. So suppose if I am checking the value for 3, okay, this value, so in that case what will be the value? The value will be something like this, 1 0. And if you take an AND operation, we'll be getting this value as 0. All the values will be 0. So in this case you can see easily it is not a set value. Okay, so if it is true, which is n I into 1 left shifted k minus 1 times, which returns true, then that we can say it is set bit, otherwise we can say it is not set. Okay, as simple as that. So I hope that was not a problem to all of you. So let me just take another example of using XOR operation, and that will be the last problem for us. So I hope most of you know what is vector and how and where we can use this. So I'm just taking this example. So I'm just going to be taking an example for this one. So this is basically a array, okay, a array, and we have in this, the question is very simple, that we have this values 1 2 3 4 something like this, and only one bit, only one number will be occurring odd times, and other all the values will be occurring even times. Okay, so you can see 4 is coming 2 times, then 3 is coming 2 times, 2 is coming 2 times, and 1 is only coming 1 time. Okay, there can be another example or another values where this is coming 3 times, but this should be odd times only. This value or the occurrence should be odd only, and we need to find that number. So how we can find that number? Using this XOR operation. How we can find this? Any output? Any suggestions? So we have already discussed that whenever we having the same numbers, so if you take an XOR for this, you'll be getting zeros. Okay, for this 4 also we'll be getting zeros. If you take an XOR for this one, so you'll be getting the value as 1, because 0 XOR any number will be getting you that number. Okay, so Vijay is already told that we are going to be using this XOR operation. Okay, so for those who don't know how we are going to be using this, it is very simple question and most famous question here. So we have this int answer, we'll be writing that as a 0, and what we'll be doing, we'll be just looping this vector, and whatever the value will be there, that will be just doing an XOR with our answer. So answer XOR equals to whatever the value will be for the x. Okay, and at the very end, what we'll be doing, we'll be just simply printing that answer. Okay, let us try to run the code, and you can see we are getting this value as 1. Suppose this was something like this one. Okay, for this also we'll be getting the value as 1 only. So how this is going to be working? So we'll be having this one, this is going to be cancelling it with this one. We have these values, so this value will be cancelling each other's, and only the value which remains is this one. Okay, so how it is going to be working? So first it is going to be taking 1 XOR 1, which will be getting 0. Then it's going to be 0 XOR 1. Okay, 0 XOR 1 it will be taking as 1. Okay, then it is going to be taking with the 2 XOR, and then it will be again doing the for this one it is going to be doing the XOR for this one. So what is the value for this one? This value is nothing but, if you take an XOR, you will be getting the value as 3 in this case. And again if you take an XOR with 2, so 3 XOR, so what is this value? 3. This value is nothing but this one. And if you take XOR with 2, which is nothing but this, and again if you do XOR for this, so you can easily say we'll be getting 1 0 1. Okay, and again similarly if you do all the values, if you do for all the values, you'll be getting the value which remains is 3 again. Okay, so all this value will be cancelling each other. So I hope that makes sense. So you can simply say it is something like this: 2 XOR 2 XOR 3 XOR 3 XOR 4 XOR 4. This 4 each cancels out, and only the value which remains is 1. So that is the important implementation, or the implementation of XOR where we can use. So you can say this bitwise XOR operation or bitwise operator, or the whole bit manipulation is very important topic to discuss. So this was our first session, so we didn't discuss many much questions. So tomorrow we'll be talking about the same thing, and we'll be trying to solve more type of these questions. Okay, so that's it for this stream. I hope you liked this stream and got something useful from this stream. If you liked it, please hit the like button, and tomorrow we'll be doing some other problems. So thank you guys for watching. We'll meet tomorrow, same place and same time, 3 p.m. okay, on Geeks for Geeks C++ channel. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the like button, and if you're not subscribed to the Geeks for Geeks C++ channel, do subscribe it. Thank you guys. Bye.
Hello everyone, this is Mohan Bishnoi, and I have an important announcement to make. Actually, we are going to be starting a streams on bit manipulation, and these streams are going to be happening from Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 p.m. only on Geeks for Geeks C++ channel. In these streams, we are going to be starting with very basics of bit manipulation, and we'll be solving advanced problems on this. So don't miss this opportunity. Please join us in solving bit manipulation problems only on Geeks for Geeks C++ channel. Hello everyone, this is Mohan Bishnoi, and I have an important announcement to make. Actually, we are going to be starting a streams on bit manipulation, and these streams are going to be happening from Monday to Friday, 3 to 4 p.m.